And we continue at 2:05 in the afternoon on the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wangs in Culver City.
John, I'm going to need Henry Lee for this next story.
It's happened yet again.
Oakland Unified is broke again.
You don't say.
It's happened yet again.
Well, you better not delete that one because I have a feeling we're going to be playing that same sound effect regarding this story next year, too.
It's happened yet again.
800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. Well, we know that California's Attorney General is in, well, as they say, agua caliente. And Randy, the more we learn, the worse it gets.
It's getting very difficult to explain why the Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta, paid nearly $500,000 of his own campaign money to attorneys to represent him when answering questions with the FBI about the Shang Tao corruption case.
Absolutely.
Doesn't pass the smell test.
For more, once again, here is KCRA3 and the wonderful Ashley Zavala.
We're following up with legal experts and California Attorney General Rob Bonta tonight. The AG facing several questions after his campaign spent nearly $500,000 on legal help amid a federal bribery investigation. KCRA3.
How many lawyers were in the room with him when he answered these questions?
It sounds like he's going to need a bigger room.
KCRA3 Political Director Ashley Zavala was the first to report this and why some say the use of the money may be against the law. Ashley?
Lisa, after pushing for answers, we're getting a little more clarity when it comes to the $468,000 that Attorney General Rob Bonta spent from his re-election campaign on legal services and fees. His campaign clarifying tonight that this money was used for him to lawyer up as he faced questions from federal authorities. We're also learning tonight.
Okay, go back to what he said initially. Initially, he was trying to portray himself as the attorney general who's such a crime fighter, he was spending his own campaign money to investigate criminal wrongdoing.
Now the story is, oh, no. He wasn't hiring $500,000 worth of lawyers to assist in the investigation. He hired $500,000 of lawyers to represent him as he faced questions from the FBI about his association with a certain Dong family.
And that makes a lot more sense.
His campaign clarifying tonight that this money was used for him to lawyer up as he faced questions from federal authorities. We're also learning tonight this is a historic amount of money spent on legal services by a candidate in California, not just for Attorney General, but for any statewide.
You know, whoever is looking at running against Rob Bonta, they might want to announce pretty soon when it comes to the Attorney General seat.
Well, he's talking about running for governor now, so this man has no shame.
Not just for Attorney General, but for any statewide constitutional office here in the state. Bonta's campaign told us at first the money was to help federal authorities in their bribery investigation in the East Bay.
Does not make sense to anybody how Rob Bonta's campaign is spending money that was raised by donors for hiring attorneys to assist the FBI in an investigation that had nothing to do with him.
And even in a one-party state, that claim was so outrageous, even the people in Sacramento weren't buying it.
Which involved Oakland's ex-mayor and the Dong family.
Oh, she's saying Dwong now. Yesterday she said Dong.
She had it right then.
That's right. I like that. That was amazing.
Which involved Oakland's ex-mayor and the Dong family, which were also Bonta's donors.
Big-time donors for many, many years. And when Rob Bonta left the assembly, they became Mia's donors.
Not just donors, benefactors.
I followed up with this campaign today with several questions, including confirmation that the law firm he paid was representing him as he answered questions from federal investigators. His campaign has confirmed. His advisor, Dan Newman, said he was...
Why wouldn't the Attorney General want to publicize this at all? Why are we finding this out thanks to filing reports from something that happened 10 months ago?
Because he knows it doesn't look good, because it's not good.
his campaign has confirmed. His advisor, Dan Newman, said he was not a target in the investigation.
Where we heard that one before?
Oh, yeah, that's what Shang said right as she was indicted.
And he said, absolutely.
That he was just providing information, and that's what the attorneys were for. Newman keeps saying,
again, that's not passing the smell test.
No, if you're just someone who was a witness to something that might have been illegal, or you might know information that might help them in their investigation, and you have a law degree, not only do you have a law degree, but you're the top lawyer in the state of California, you're the attorney general. Why is it that you need $500,000 worth of attorneys to make sure you don't say something that puts you in prison?
It's almost like he paid those attorneys $500,000 to do all the digging they could to see if there was anything the FBI would find on him.
Could be.
Newman keeps saying that the ongoing investigation, they can't say much because, again, it is ongoing. But at the same time, he told me today that Bonta's role in that investigation is over. Another question in all of this is it legal? Is this a permissible use of campaign funds in California? Bonta's advisor said this was absolutely proper. And
okay, well, we're going to need an assist on that one.
Shang.
Bonta's advisor said this was absolutely proper.
Thank you, Shangy.
Boy, she's getting all kinds of assists today.
Well, we got to give her something. She's got nothing to do. Poor girl. She thought this time of year she'd be hanging out with Ray Bobbitt, celebrating that Coliseum deal that somehow never happened.
And now she's just facing charges, getting more assists than John Stockton.
And necessary to use the funds because of the nature of the charges against the people implicated in that Oakland bribery probe. I checked in with Loyola Law School professor.
So I'm guessing the theory here is it's okay to hire a bunch of attorneys from your campaign account because the focus of the investigation was said campaign account.
Could be.
I checked in with Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson, who noted campaign legal expenses are meant to be related directly to the campaign itself. Typically, that money is used, for example, to request a recount in an election or to litigate how a candidate's name or title is seen on the ballot. Here's what she had to say when it comes to Bonta's situation.
In this case, the only connection that I can see right now between the AG's election and the legal investigation and proceedings would be whether or not the investigation initially began with questions about the Dong's donations to...
Thank you, Jessica, for saying it correctly.
She got it right.
With questions about the Dong's donations to the AG account.
I don't think that's what this is about.
What you would need in order to be able to draw that legal line between the political account, the committee to run to be AG, and these big legal expenses is some connection between that account, the reason that Bonta is running to be AG, and the legal expenses.
Boy, between Bonta and Baccaria, this week has really been quite an expose on what goes on with these campaign accounts.
Oh, yes. And let's not forget, it's not that Bonta suddenly decided that he was going to have a relationship with the Dongs when he was the attorney general. He and the Dongs go way back to Oakland, back when he was the assemblyman there.
In this case, I think the best argument that Bonta could make for how these expenses would be permissible is to say that the investigation and or questions originally began based on the Dong's campaign donations to that AG account.
So on that note, David and Andy Dong were indicted.
There, she said it right this time.
Wait, who said it right?
Ashley.
Play it again.
So on that note, David and Andy Dong were indicted.
She almost got there.
That's a wobbler.
David and Andy Dong were indicted during that federal probe. Together, they donated $24,300 to Just Bonta's re-election campaign for 2026. The Dong family donated $155,000 total to him throughout his political career.
And how much to Mia?
That's a lot of money to one politician.
Well, for most of that, it was just when he was in the assembly.
And keep in mind, there are limits as to how much you can give. So there had to be multiple dongs writing checks to Bonta in his campaigns, and it had to happen over multiple cycles.
Bonta's campaign noting all of that money was returned after the investigation was made public in Oakland earlier this year.
But just talking about the $500,000
Yes.
in legal fees, that's a lot of money, all of it just to have attorneys by your side as you're answering questions. I would think that would be what it would cost maybe to do a whole trial, but that's a...
Do you think all of them at the same time in unison say, don't answer that?
He's got like the OJ Dream Team in there.
trial, but that's a lot of money.
Right, it is. And that's at the center.
I don't think those attorneys cost OJ $500,000.
No. These attorneys are charging more than F. Lee Bailey.
Trial, but that's a lot of money.
Right, it is. And that's at the center of why we're asking so many questions and we keep following up with this campaign. And I really cannot get a straight answer here behind that dollar amount. What Bonta's campaign did confirm is that the funds are not related to anything else or any other issues. His advisor said this was not settlement money or anything like that. But again, we still have a lot of questions just related to this whole situation, how they went from saying this was to help the investigation in his capacity, but then now they're changing their story essentially today to say that this was for him to lawyer up.
All right, Ashley, thank you.
I feel like this story's not going away.
And the only reason they changed their story was because no one was buying it. So that's the latest on California Attorney General Rob Bonta and his dong problem. Now, as I said before, he was the assemblyman for Oakland before he became the attorney general. I think it's time we should check in on just exactly how he left Oakland. And Randy, what do you say we start out with the condition of the school district?
It happened yet again. Oakland Unified announces they are broke. I feel like we have done this story 5 times this year.
It's happened yet again.
And we still have a month and change to go.
For more, here's Cron 4.
More trouble for Oakland schools. As we've been reporting, they have been overspending every month and now are in serious financial trouble. Cron 4's Dan Kerman reports.
Maybe because it's so close to the holidays, they're just putting stories on repeat.
Remember when they were told that they needed to shut down schools because they have declining enrollment and they just flat out refused to do it because the union didn't want them to?
Yep.
Serious financial trouble. Cron 4's Dan Kerman reports.
This is the worst financial situation OUSD has ever been in.
Worse than 2 months ago?
That was pretty bad.
Oakland School Board member Mike Hutchinson is talking about the school district's latest fiscal crisis. Not only is it overspending its budget by $4 million a month.
Holy cow.
$4 million a month? What do they have? Imelda Marcos is the controller?
So they're overspending $48 million a year. And in fact, they owe more than that because their budget deficit's in the hundreds of millions.
Great.
But it must immediately develop a plan to cut about 20% or $100 million from next year's budget.
We need to reduce staffing, but there's not one place where if we just eliminate one job category, we can find it. So that was why the resolution I had proposed is lowering staffing levels to what the contract calls for or the law calls for, reducing everything back to basically bare bones, seeing where you are, and then figuring out if you can resource up any areas from there.
But Hutchinson says his proposals were discounted by the board majority. The problem is the majority's central office cuts only reduce the budget by less than $21 million, a far cry from the $100 million required.
That's not going to do it.
No, and again, when you have a city, or you have a district in this case, that feels that Gavin Newsom will bail them out if and when they need a bailout, why would you alter what you're doing?
It is concerning, except that I think this is also the beginning stage of this. And I think what we asked the board, the senior leadership team to do was an enormous job in a very short amount of time.
Board President Jennifer Brohard believes additional dollars can be saved by reducing outsourcing and increasing daily attendance. But even
good luck with that.
Yeah, you spent the entire time that COVID was a thing telling people it didn't matter if your kids showed up to school or not. And now you're having a hard time getting them to show up. Gee, I wonder why.
But even Brohard questions.
I do like that name.
It sounds like someone who would be the president of a fraternity, doesn't it?
But even Brohard questions if it can happen without classroom cuts.
I think that remains to be seen. I mean, I don't want to speculate.
But a quasi-deadline has been set by Alameda County School Superintendent Elise Castro, who in this November 1st letter directed the board to begin implementing the $100 million in budget balancing solutions by December 15th. That seems unlikely, and the threat of another state takeover looms if the district can't pay its bills.
Yeah, but the state can't pay its bills either.
How many times do you have to be taken over by the state before you decide that you're going to reform the way you do business?
Oakland Unified exited state receivership a month ago. A month.
The county should be stepping in right now, because the worst case scenario is for us to be allowed to run out of money.
You know, if this guy loses his shirt, he should get into VO. Beautiful pipes.
Because the worst case scenario is for us to be allowed to run out of money and be forced back into state receivership, where the school board loses any of our authority and the state will dictate what cuts we need to make.
Wednesday's meeting begins at 6 p.m. Dan Kerman, Cron 4 News.
There you go. It's happened yet again. Oakland Unified is still broke. Next week, Oakland Unified will be broker.
But here's the thing, though. Just because the state takes over doesn't mean there will be genuine austerity coming to Oakland Unified School District. Because part of the problem at Oakland USD is that the school board is controlled by the unions, and the unions don't want to hit the brakes on the spending. Well, if you throw it to Sacramento, you put Sacramento in charge, guess what? They're just as controlled by the unions as they are in Oakland. So the same pressures that are on the school board right now will be on the state if and when OUSD goes back into receivership and the state is expected to right the ship. The unions will tell the state to go pound sand. And then the state has to have the backbone to tell the unions to shut up. So far, Sacramento hasn't been able to do that on just about anything. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
This is becoming somewhat of a common occurrence. We do an update on the Rob Bonta scandal and the family that is implicated in not just Rob Bonta's dealings, but also Shang Tao's dealings.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And people send us jokes in the mailbag that I think are really funny that I don't think I can tell on the radio.
Well, now I'm going to have to check out the mailbag.
Look at the one from Michael. It's not like it's overly inappropriate, but, you know, I always err on the side of caution here. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one. And I'm not reading it either.
We may not read your email on the air, but when you send us inappropriate jokes to johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com, they are appreciated.
And we have about a half hour to go until the show is over. But if you want to continue listening after we sign off at 3, Randy, that's easy to do.
All you got to do is search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's the Apple Podcast app, iHeart, Spotify. Search for The John Phillips Show. Hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes. It's either listening to us or finding old tapes of the Oakland Bees.
Oakland Bees!
800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. And right now it's time to open up the California Crime Blotter.
It's happened yet again.
I see. Time for the California Crime Blotter.
And Randy, this edition involves high-tech thieves.
In Anaheim, they've got all kinds of new technology to steal your car. And the only thing that can stop them is the oldest technology. Just you wait, kids. For more, here's NBC4.
And we begin at 6 with a follow-up now to an NBC4 exclusive as thieves are using high-tech technology to steal expensive cars and trucks all across Southern California. Good evening once again, everyone.
Now,
I'm
this
Colleen
is a
Williams.
departure from what we normally see, which is thieves using an abacus to steal Kias.
Yeah, but they already stole all of those, so at some point they had to figure out something else.
I see.
Good evening once again, everyone.
Every single Kia that was susceptible to that USB drive hack that was on TikTok has already been crashed through some gas station.
Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Michael Brownlee. Tonight, we are hearing exclusively from one man who had his truck stolen last Friday and from a sheriff's department sergeant with tips on how you can reduce your risk on becoming a victim.
NBC4's Alex Rozier joins us live from Anaheim Hills with that story tonight. Alex.
Colleen and Michael, the man you're about to hear from woke up last Friday morning and went to get his backpack out of his truck, only to realize his truck was stolen. And we have exclusive video that shows what happened. It only took a few minutes for thieves in Anaheim Hills to take off with this 2020 Chevy Silverado.
They're going after Chevys now.
Well, if you're right and all the Kias and Hyundais are stolen, they're going to have to expand their horizons eventually.
Couldn't have been there longer than 3 to 5 minutes.
Chris owns this truck that thieves stole using a tablet made for locksmiths. After breaking in, they plugged the tablet into the computer system in the truck, quickly reprogrammed it, then turned the truck on and drove off.
Okay, that's scary.
If it's that easy, we're all doomed.
It is kind of something that you could see coming, where it used to be that you need a key to start a car, but now since everything is digitized and computerized, yeah, apparently the same thing a locksmith can use. If you can steal what the locksmith has, you can steal any car.
No bueno.
What was your reaction seeing that?
Just complete shock. Kind of violated, your privacy. My wife actually had seen my reaction because we have the Ring camera and we have another camera up there. And I think I was just kind of like, oh.
And again, this is Orange County, not L.A.
Oh, poor guy.
So he's not used to this.
Anaheim police say people are also stealing cars.
The only thing you used to have to watch out for in Anaheim Hills is those cougar bars.
They have one of those in Indian Wells.
The one in Anaheim Hills went out of business. It was I went there once, and
they call it the Nest.
I saw a 4'10", 70-year-old Asian woman in a neon Mini. You can't unsee that.
Anaheim police say people are also stealing cars and trucks using antennas, trying to pick up a signal from your keyless entry key fob inside the house.
Okay, now this one's not new. I've had my car broken into once in Burbank, and it was specifically this. There was no forced entry. They stole the key fob pattern, broke into my car, and realized there was nothing in there except an expired season pass to Magic Mountain, and they took it.
That's just insulting.
Once they get the signal, they can open the car or truck, start it, and take off. Today I spoke with a sergeant with the LA County Sheriff's Department. Because he's undercover, he can't show his face on camera, but he says these...
Who's he undercover with?
Now, even the cops are in the witness protection program?
But he says these car thefts using technology like tablets and antennas are happening across Southern California.
Orange County, LA County, San Bernardino, Riverside.
If you have a keyless entry key fob,
that's all cars now.
I'm telling you, I hate living in an HOA with the hot, hot hate of 1,000 suns. And I have to put up with an army of Karens. One thing I don't have to put up with is this. I still don't know what's worse, the Karens or the car thieves. But at least in the meantime, I chose the Karens.
If you have a keyless entry key fob, detectives recommend placing it in a faraway bag, which will block the signal and prevent a theft. The sergeant has other ideas.
Yeah, like you're blocking the radiation or something. You got to put all of these things that emit an RF in some kind of special bag so no one can steal your signal.
The sergeant has other ideas.
Try to install a kill switch, which is basically a switch that's concealed within the vehicle that cuts power to the car. The simplest form.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about the kill switch. In fact, anytime we do a story about stolen cars, people will call in and say, you got to get that. But, Johnny, guess what's even more effective than the kill switch or the faraway bag for the key fob?
What's that?
The simplest form and the cheapest form you can do is buy a steering wheel lock, the old club from the 80s and 90s.
The club?
It still works.
I love it.
I guarantee you there are people listening to us in Southern and Northern California right now that have been club users for 3 decades and their car never got stolen.
Now you know why they've been on late night TV consistently for decades.
Although typically, if you ever walk past a car that has the club, I'm not judging, but it's not usually the kind of car you would expect someone to try to steal.
No, it usually has a Dukakis for President bumper sticker on it.
I don't know how many thieves are looking for a 1993 red Volvo.
You can put a lock on your steering wheel, and when the crooks show up and look at your car and they see that the steering wheel's got a lock, most likely they're going to leave.
But for Chris,
I'm going to have to go to sales once again. For, I think, 4 years I've been saying, how we not gotten the Crime Blotter sponsored by the club?
Can you imagine, though, having a brand new expensive car and you're getting out of the car to do your grocery shopping and you turn to your shopping companion and you go, oh, wait. I know I'm in this brand new BMW fresh off the lot. Let me put the club on the steering wheel.
Hey, better safe than sorry.
But for Chris, his stolen truck is now an unnecessary headache.
I put a lot of money down on it to get the truck, and then I think I've only had it for like 2 years.
He says if he gets a new truck, it may be old.
Well, maybe I just get like a work truck. It's just a standard vehicle that...
You know, there is something to get a beater because you don't have to get too much insurance on it because it's low in value. And if you crash it, you just buy another one.
That's right. And if you're going to use the club, it looks better on a beater than it does on a brand new truck.
Nobody's going to want. If you want it, then by all means, take it. I'll leave the window down for you.
It's surprising, by the way, how old, junky-looking trucks seem to last forever. It's 2025, and I guarantee at least once a week, most people listening see someone driving a Datsun.
Well, old cars are like being in the military and wearing camouflage. You just blend in with the elements. You don't stand out.
And the sergeant with the sheriff's department says that these cars or trucks are typically have their VIN number changed and sold out of the country, or they are used in a street takeover and started on fire.
Well, that's good to know.
He says if this happens to you, that these people are typically armed and they are not afraid to confront the owner if approached. So they say at that point, unfortunately, the best option is to just let them get off with your car or truck. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
Oh, that's a great way to end that story. If you see someone actively stealing your car, don't approach because they might murder you.
And this is why none of us can buy insurance. I think I told you. We know that our homeowners insurance is going up, and I have State Farm, so every time they ask for an increase, the California Department of Insurance says yes. But my automobile insurance went up by 97% without an accident or a ticket. 97% from one contract to the next. Same company, and I bundle all of my policies with State Farm.
Now, is it possible with drone technology, they've actually seen how you drive?
Well, that would definitely explain it. 1-800-222-5222 is the telephone number, 1-800-222-5222. And it's time to reopen the California Crime Blotter.
If the cashier is dummy.
We couldn't make this stuff up if we tried.
I said, hell no, baby boy. Let me get up on out of here.
It's the California Crime Blotter.
And Randy, this edition takes us to your neck of the woods.
In the Valley, the same guy allegedly committed 6 different burglaries in one night.
Whoa.
For more, here's CBS LA.
A dozen San Fernando Valley businesses broken into overnight. Not much was taken, but the damage is costly. And police believe it was all done by one guy. CBS LA's Joy Benedict spoke with business owners today.
This guy's a solo artist.
If you have that kind of work ethic, can't you find an honest job?
Nah.
Shattered glass leading to broken spirits this morning all over the...
High salaries are one thing, Johnny, but the thrill that goes through your veins when you smash that glass, what's going to replace that?
I guess they're thrill seekers.
Shattered glass leading to broken spirits this morning all over the valley as 6 business owners came to work realizing they were burglarized.
It's horrible. It sucks because we are a mom and pop shop. So, it's really nothing that we can do.
Kim Lopez's family-owned coffee shop, Caravana, appears to have been the first business targeted.
He had a mask on, he was on a bike, backpack, so obviously he knew what he was doing.
Okay, how did someone in the neighborhood not see this? If you have a masked man riding around a neighborhood on a bicycle with a backpack, that didn't strike anyone as odd?
Well, it was late at night.
Watch a security video.
The valley shuts down early. There's nothing to do there.
I guess.
Watch a security video shows the burglar ride up on a bike and use a small device to break the window. When it didn't shatter, he came back a few minutes later and tried again.
Persistent, are we?
Okay, it's almost as if everyone in that neighborhood either goes to bed at 8 o'clock or is just totally checked out.
It's thousands of dollars, so I can only imagine this is bigger. You have to get it custom.
An hour later, and a mile and a half away on Burbank Boulevard, you see what appears to be the same bike. This time, the burglar got in.
He just kept trying and trying and trying until it worked.
But he's just on the bicycle, going a mile and a half in between locations. He got quite a workout in.
Well, Lance Armstrong had a lot on his plate that night.
Ransacking La Sushi in Valley Village, stealing cash and leaving quite a mess.
Not La Sushi.
He took everything but the wasabi.
It is now that regular interval in the show where I have to point out Valley Village is North Hollywood. They changed the name to Valley Village to try to increase the property values, but don't kid yourself. Valley Village is North Hollywood. I know. I used to live in the double V's.
All the glass sprayed all over the floor. We just called the police. They respond right away.
David Beaton has owned this restaurant for decades.
Good neighborhood, good Jewish community, but that's what happened.
Well, at some point, that guy, with all of his optimism, is going to say, you know what, I'm throwing in the towel.
In all, we found 6 businesses burglarized in the community between 2 and 4 Thursday morning, all with broken windows and many that lost cash.
Although it's not just these 6 restaurants that were burglarized. In fact, the LAPD tells me they're investigating 3 more businesses that have been broken into here in this community.
Wait, that's all in one night. I know the Valley's a big area, but that's a lot of crime.
I know the Olympics are coming to town in a few years. Maybe this guy is getting ready to compete in the Olympics of being a thief.
In the last couple of days.
It's not just, you get another window and it's up. You're back to normal. No, you have like a little bit of trauma.
Thankfully, at Caravana, customers showing up for coffee ended up helping them clean up.
Oh, thank you.
And offering comfort. But since this is their second burglary this year.
Of course.
How much money could you possibly get from a shop that sells cups of coffee?
Not a whole lot. The markup's on the scones.
But since this is their second burglary this year, this owner admits it's getting harder to pick up the pieces of her livelihood and open her door.
Keep it pushing. Pick up the glass, brush your shoulders off, and just keep on moving.
So the LAPD says although it may cost restaurants and business owners a little more money, some good advice is to leave your lights on overnight.
Don't let the DWP hear that.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine what they would do to you if they found out you were leaving your lights on all night long?
Surge pricing
is to leave your lights on overnight and open your register so any would-be thieves would know there's nothing in there to break in for.
It's like that, remember that restaurant we covered in Oakland? They keep a job application in the cash register. There's a better way, folks.
I don't think the thieves find that as funny as us.
From Valley Village, I'm Joy Benedict, CBS LA.
There you go. 6 burglaries committed by one jackass on a bicycle, all in one night. He's reverse Santa Claus.
And just remember, when they tell you that we are dealing with over-incarceration in California, these are the types of people they're perfectly comfortable leaving on the streets.
This guy didn't even get arrested.
All right, Randy, I think we have time for one more.
It's happened yet again.
It's Wild Wild West out here.
It's the California Crime Blotter with John
and Randy.
So yesterday we told you about the video game shop that got robbed. And Randy, you kept mentioning that there are items in these video game stores other than just the video games themselves that are attractive to the crooks, including things like Pokemon cards. And it looks like that one shop isn't the only one that got hit.
Nope, now it's happening in San Diego County. A Rolando Hills shop that sells Pokemon cards got burglarized. For more, here's ABC 10 in San Diego.
A break-in at a convenience store in Rolando Village, the Target.
Rolando Village, I can't remember.
In Rolando Village, the Target Pokemon collectibles. We told you earlier this.
I choose you, Pikachu.
We told you earlier this month how Pokemon cards are having a massive comeback. ABC 10 News reporter Yasmin Ludi shows how thieves are trying to cash in.
This case is typically packed with around 100 trading cards. And in just one night, everything stolen. The owners tell me what was taken won't be easy to replace. That's the usual sound you hear when you first walk into Boulevard Mart. Now, a boarded up front door is also there greeting customers.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you, that is becoming a very common sight in this state.
Customers, they see a boarded up door, they're less likely to come in here, and it's a bad image for the community.
After 4 years of...
They're not getting a Bulbasaur from you.
Well, who's willing to lose their life over Pokemon cards?
Some of these cards are worth like $1 million.
What, are you trying to get me to second guess that statement?
After 4 years of running the family convenience store,
I had to call my mom, and that was one of the hardest calls I had to make.
Sergio Sandoval says November 15th changed everything. Sergio gave me this surveillance footage. It shows the moment someone smashed the glass of the store and ran inside.
We know most of them are customers by name. We recognize their face when they walk in. So it was a very shock to see that.
In the video, you can see the person who broke in go straight to the store's Pokemon section.
They knew exactly what they were going for.
It sounds like it.